What's up, YouTube? Robbie Vapes back again, and today we are talking about the Mini Volt by CASAA Vapor. So stay tuned. That is right, YouTube. Today we are talking about the Mini Volt, the 40-watt mini box mod from CASAA Vapor. And I gotta say, this little thing, it's pretty damn cool. But for me personally, I don't know how much it's going to get used by me. And I'll go why in just a second, but let's talk about the pros and cons first, and maybe that'll help explain to you my logic behind everything and why it's going to be difficult for me to use this device on a regular basis. So I'm going to start with cons, as I always do. The biggest con for me, and it's also a little bit of a pro in my mind as well, it's kind of a balancing act, but this device will automatically shut off if left unattended for around 10 minutes. I tried to time it, I got around 10 minutes when it turned off. Obviously, I don't have that kind of attention span, so I may have missed it earlier, but I would say around 10-minute time off period is what you have. And with that, what's going to happen is you have to click it 5 times to turn it on, 5 times to click it off. And when it does turn off automatically, you have to hit that button, power button, 5 times to get it back on. The second con on this little device, it has a low resistance actually. It goes down to 0.2, but at the same time, anything below 0.5 realistically is going to have a pretty major ramp up time on this little device. Right now I'm actually using the only tank I have in my possession that will fire on it properly, and I'm actually firing at 25 watts, but it's the sub-tank Nano that I have on here with the ceramic coil by G Clapton, which is a 0.9 ohm coil, and it's firing pretty nicely on this. Every other device I have, even some of the 0.5 coils I have for a lot of my tanks, just wouldn't fire on this thing, and it just had way too much ramp up time. If you want to do If you want something like this, I can see the appeal. It's a great little compact device. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, if you're expecting to have a compact device like this, start chucking clouds off of a Z-Pal tank or a 0.2 ohm Clapton build or something, it's just not going to happen. You need that ramp. It's going to have way too much ramp up time. And I guess let's go into the pros. And I'm going to start with the pro of, it shutting off automatically. In a lot of ways, that is a good thing. If you keep your device in your pocket or in your purse or whatever and you forget to turn it off, ideally it's going to turn off before it starts auto-firing in your pocket on you. Now, obviously, I don't recommend doing that. I've said that in other videos. If you put a device in your pocket, make sure it's turned off anyways, but at least this one has an auto time-off feature, and it also has a max power feature where it actually only allows you to vape for 10 seconds or less. So even if you wanted to try that 2-minute ramp-up time on a 0.2 coil, you couldn't do it. It would just cut off before you get any vapor. But it is a good feature to have. So I do like that the auto cutoff feature. It prevents anything disastrous from happening. It's nice to have, and I like that devices are starting to use this more and more. The next big pro is obviously the size. The size is compact. It's super compact. It's well made too, and I'm a big fan of CASAA Vapor because all their products, at least from my experience, have been very well made, and they are just those really well built. I mean, it feels like a high-end quality product. And for the price tag on this, it's really not bad. So the price tag on this, MSRP on the CASAA Vapor website is $35 US for just the Mini Volt, and I believe it's around $50 for the Mini Volt kit, which includes the sub-tank that's pretty much designed for the Mini Volt. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get that sub-tank, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it would have been nice too because it's a 0.85 coil or a 0.8 coil or something like that, and it would have fired perfectly on this thing, much like this sub-tank Nano is firing right now. I think apart from that, I mean, there's a whole bunch of other pros. It's got a really nice finish to it. It's kind of that rubberized finish, which is really nice. It's got the carbon fiber wrap around it, which again adds a little bit of style to it, while also adding to the overall visual appearance and the feel of it. The buttons are really clicky. They're really nice buttons. Everything works well. The menu system is very easy to navigate, and that's pretty much it. So what do you say we get down and dirty with the Mini Volt by CASAA Vapor and give it a closer look? All right, YouTube, we are down and dirty with the Mini Volt by CASAA Vapor. Here it is up top here. Here's the packaging it comes with. Look at this really quickly before we get into the actual mod itself. Open it up. Very nicely done. CASAA Vapor, definitely known for their really nice packaging efforts, and they are not stingy when it comes to what they do. So with the Mini Volt kit, what you have here, you have this little cardboard piece over top. You have your charge cable along here, which is just USB to micro USB. And then if we lift this up, you have your instruction manual, and you get a sticker as well in there. We're not going to look at that right now for today. It's pretty basic on how to use, so I'm not going to go into instructions. You won't have to bring that out, but it is very well detailed if anyone has any questions. they can obviously check it out if they do decide to get one of these. So here's the device itself. You have that carbon wrap finish on the front and this rubberized finish kind of on the back. You have your screen on top here, which is a little bit dirty, but ignore that. You'll save your 510 connection. This is a spring-loaded 510 connection. To turn it on, it's just 5 clicks on and turn it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clicks off, or just let it sit for 10 minutes and it'll turn off. And now it's finally turning on. So COV, Council of Vapor, there's the menu system, your wattage, your battery life, the resistance, standard. That is actually your firing mode. So what that is the ramp up. Is it going to be a more regulated ramp up where it starts at 40, or in this case, it starts at 24 and continues on at 24, or you can also go a soft one. And to change it, you go the down button and power together. And here we go. We're now in soft. We have power and we have standard. And you're just using this button down here to scroll through it. You can use either one of these, the up or down button to scroll. Standard, like I said, is going to keep it at 24 watts throughout the entire hit. Soft means you have a slower ramp up time. It's going to start out soft and start building up from there. And power means you're going to start with a more powerful ramp up time and then it's going to decrease over time. So that's what the 3 options are. You do have those options if you wanted to. I typically just leave them standard for me, but that's just my personal preference. Now change the wattage on this. Again, you're going to put the power button in up this time. And now you have the wattage change. So you can change this. You can go individually by 0.1 ohm or by 0.1 watts, or you can hold it down and it'll go by 1 watt increments. And it goes all the way from 5 watts to 40 watts. It's kind of nice. And again, it's relatively fast for scrolling. It's not too slow. And it is pretty accurate to get to where you want to get it to. I find one of the things with a lot of the devices these days, they're either way too fast or way too slow. And they don't have a really moderate mode to kind of adjust between, say, 20 watt increments. It takes forever because you're scrolling too fast down or too fast up or too slow down and too slow up. This one's a nice balance of that, so I do like that a lot. Looking down at the bottom, there's your charge port down there. There's a little vent hole down there if you guys can see that. Honestly, it's pretty small. I don't really see it doing very much help. I mean, it's nice they included a little bit of a vent hole, but it's pretty minimal to be honest. So, I mean, we'll see if it ever comes into handy and or comes in use, if anything were to happen, but I just, yeah, I wish it would have included a couple more vent holes maybe down there or something. Anyways, going back to the main screen, I mean, this is pretty much how it looks. It's pretty standard, nothing too much more to talk about. And let's take a quick look at the size comparison between this and another 40 watt device I have off to the side here. This device is about a year old, but just to show you the size difference, this is the Kanger K-Box 40 watt from a very long time ago, it feels like, but nonetheless, these are both, believe it or not, 40 watt devices. This one fires down to 0.2, but again, I mean, you're not going to use 0.2 coils in here by any means, but it does have the option for whatever reason. This one, I believe, fired down to 0.4, so again, the technology has advanced quite a bit. This one has a screen on it, and this one doesn't. This one just has a whole bunch of lights on the side. It has a, this carbon wrap, by the way, is aftermarket. It's not part of the actual device. I put this on myself afterwards, but this one actually came included. I mean, just side by side, it's kind of funny looking at the difference and how far we've come in such a short amount of time in the vaping industry. 40 watts, 0.2 resistance, 0.4 resistance, and I mean, this is as good as it gets. I mean, we're living in a pretty good time here. So that's a quick size comparison. Just want to put that in there as well, and I'll let you guys see the difference in that one. The one thing I will say is this does have a 1200 milliamp hour battery, and the battery will last you anywhere from 4 to 6 hours on regular vaping, depending on how much you're vaping, of course. I mean, it's going to vary. But for me, I found between 4 to 6 hours, depending on the day of the week and what I was doing. The charge time on this thing, however, is about 3 hours to get it fully charged from almost dead. And that's quite a long time for such a small battery, I found. But I don't know, maybe that's just me saying that. I just feel like 3 hours is quite a long wait for a lot of people who are going to be waiting to use this if they have to charge it halfway through the day, and if this is your only device. So it's a bit of a con in my mind, the battery life and the battery charge times, but that's just my personal opinion on it, and just wanted to put that warning out for anyone looking to get this as their primary device. But I think that's going to cover all for it down here. Let's go back up top, finish off the video, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this thing. All right, guys, we're back up top with the Mini Volt. Final thoughts really quickly. Do I recommend this device? And if so, who would I recommend it for? Now, this device definitely is not for everyone. It's going to be one of those devices where you're going to have a specific need in mind, and it's going to be for those low wattage vapors, the guys who like to go below 40, typically stay in the 25 to 30 watt range, 20 to 30 watts maybe, and it's going to be bang on for you guys. Because like I showed you in the up close section, the size of this thing is great, and if you have devices that you want to hit in that 40 or below range, this is the device to go to, I think. If you're looking for a very affordable and very well-made, low wattage device, this is, I don't see any other option, to be honest. I really don't. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money on a 75 watt device or a 90 watt device or 150 watt device or any of the other stuff, you can get this for a lot less. And the size is just so much more portable than those devices. So with that being said, guys, I do recommend it if you're looking for something in this range. But again, it's going to be very specific on who's going to want it and who's actually going to use this for day-to-day use. For me, it's a nice little thing to have, but I honestly won't be keeping this. I'll be giving this away actually in another video I'll be announcing in just a couple days, but you'll want to stay tuned for that. It won't be in this video. I'm going to do a giveaway in a separate video, just because for me personally, I love the device. I love how compact it is, and I think it's got a lot of potential for the right person, but that right person isn't me, and that's just why I personally just, if I'm not going to use something, I'm going to try and give it away to you guys because it just makes more sense that way. So overall, my recommendation, yes, if you're looking for a device with these kind of specs, this is definitely the one to get. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, YouTube, happy vaping.